Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is From IP to AI. Siddharth Mahajan on redefining legal frontiers. When you have spent over 2 decades navigating the evolving intersections of law, technology, and business, you don't just interpret the law, you shape its direction. In this episode, we sit down with Siddharth Mahajan, partner at Athena Legal, whose journey from NALSAR to Forbes India's Legal Powerlist 2022 paints a portrait of precision, perseverance, and perspective. With deep expertise across IP, tech, and commercial law, Siddharth has advised everyone from startups to industry giants, bringing innovation with integrity and law with leadership. Let's dive into a conversation that's as strategic as it is insightful as we decode what it takes to thrive in the ever evolving world of modern law. And we also come to know Siddharth as a person. So, welcome, Siddharth, to today's Coffee Conversation episode.
Thank you. Thank you, Amir. Thank you for having me on the show. Look forward to
Yeah.
speaking.
So, there are 3 rounds. You must be aware of the two, professional, personal, but there is a surprise, the rapid fire round, where you will be in the hot seat, like at Coffee with Karan, and years inspiring as you work on AI, legal AI in the legal world. So, which you got to
Okay.
grab, but you have to be witty, fun, and quick to get
Okay.
this.
Sure.
Okay. So, for example, I'm Amir Virani, host at Coffee Corner, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So, my first question, Siddharth. You have built a formidable career spanning IP, technology, and commercial law. What's been the most defining moment that shaped your professional identity, and how has the journey been till date?
So it's been a long and a fulfilling journey. I must say it's been good. God has been kind. There have been a lot of great experiences, right from entering first batch of NALSAR to today advising some of the biggest deals and some of the biggest clients in India. However, the this journey became quite started quite by an accident because I coming from small town in Himachal, it was law was never really a career option in late 90s. So law had a very different and non-glamorous perception at that time than it is now. So it happened by chance. I was studying to be a doctor. Suddenly, I saw this advertisement of NALSAR at a very unusual time of the year. But then I said, okay, let's do it. I filled the form, I gave the exam, got through it, and by sheer accident or luck, I joined NALSAR, and it started from there. So I would say that despite many things happening after that, that was one event which changed the trajectory of my life. So I think that will be the defining moment for me.
Wow. So, let's build a conversation, Siddharth. As someone advising both startups and industry leaders, how do you balance risk taking with regulatory caution in fast evolving sectors like AI and fintech?
So see, when you work with both startups and big clients, from the outside, it seems that both have very different needs. But at the end of the day, both want a clear legal advice which can assist them in decision making and assist them in growth of their business. So eventually, that is what both startup founders and both big industry leaders want. So startups, specifically to startups from their lawyers, they expect them to be their enablers. They expect them to guide their work, their technology, their future. And it is not something they are not scared about disputes, or they are not scared about regulatory issues. They don't know what unknown regulation will come in future, because as we all know that law always follows technology. So once, if you are doing AI or you are doing deep tech or any of these things, at the end of the day, when the venture started, there was no law, there was no regulation. So one of the key aims there is to analyze what's happening globally and help build them guardrails, that when the point comes when law and their business will intersect, they should have minimum disruption, and they should be aware that this is the kind of regulation which may come. So from insofar as advising of startups goes, that is a very important factor. When you come to large corporations, there are systems in place. They have their boards, they have oversight committees, they have everything. in place. For them, avoidance of disputes and reputation management, I would imagine, is the most important thing. They would not want legal advice which leads them to some kind of a dispute, which is a PR disaster or some kind of a regulatory hiccup. So they would want to avoid that at all costs. So at the end of the day, I would say both want correct, clear, and precise legal advice. And the eventual aim of both is to do well in their businesses. So I think little bit of variance in perspective and what they expect. But at the end of the day, legal advice is something which they want, which is usual.
Wow. So, Siddharth, intellectual property law is evolving rapidly with digital disruption. What trends excite or challenge you the most today?
So see, IP has really evolved from the time when I started practicing IP in 2003. At that time, the core of the IP was essentially your trademark protection, your enforcement actions with regard to apparels or movies or anti-piracy actions. That was the time when global corporations had just started looking at India as a potential market. And the first thing they used to do was to file trademark applications so that their brand is protected. And then they used to go analyze the market, and then they would imagine, then they would see in India that there are already 10 brands which are similar to what they are doing. So that was a big thing at that time. But eventually, now as the time progressed, we have now become clearly a IP dominated economy where IP is an integral part. IP forms integral part of our startup ecosystem in terms of technology, in terms of the creator technology, in terms of monetization or commercialization opportunities which there are now. So all of them, IP forms a very important backbone. So I think the perspective has changed. Right now, the whole debate with regard to IP and AI would eventually define where AI goes, where the entire business of AI goes. So these are not just theoretical issues now. These are very important issues. However, the core remains the same, and those principles are being applied in a different and a much more robust manner now.
Wow. Okay. Next interesting question. How do you view India's legal readiness when it comes to emerging areas like Web3, data protection, and AI governance?
See, I would imagine Indian government has taken a very pragmatic and a sensible approach where they are not rushing to regulate all these things. So, in terms of if we see Web3 or crypto, earlier there was no regulation, then some kind of tax issues came up, but the eventual aim is consumer protection and to stabilize the financial markets so that there is no financial disruption. If similarly, if you see AI, in terms of AI also, there is a very light touch regulation. Yesterday only one governance paper has come which says that there will be no overarching regulation for AI, and they will let the sector grow. In terms of similarly for online gaming, recently we've seen there was a ban after a long time, but there again the reasons are genuine because the societal interest is paramount,
Yes.
and with all the addictions and everything that was happening, so that was the reason. And similarly with Data Act, I feel that the lack of enforcement is primarily due to the present geopolitical situation where one more leg of regulation may hamper Indian businesses. So I think they've been quite sensible till now, where they don't rush into regulation like they do in Europe, because our economy is very different. We should let our startups and our deep tech startups, let them evolve, let them start their businesses, let them grow, and then it will be the time to regulate. So that is what they are doing.
Wow. Okay. So, Siddharth, you have been part of both large firms and your own ventures. How did entrepreneurship shape your perspective on legal practice?
See, entrepreneurship is something which is ingrained in legal practice, because law, if you are a lawyer, it is not a job. It can never be a 9 to 5 job. You are a professional. So once you jump from your normal routine law firm jobs to your own ventures, first thing you realize is, okay, fine, I have gotten work, I have done the work. Then what about the most important thing? You have to raise the bill and chase the client that they pay the bill. So it is the whole cycle which you have to do. which you don't realize sitting in a law firm, because work will come to you. Some matter, some partner will get that work, and that work will come to you. So entrepreneurship is something which is ingrained and which is part of our profession. And I would really want that law schools start teaching the business of law as well. That what,
Yes.
once you come out of law school, how is it that, how does the actual business, how does the work operate? Okay, fine, you are churning out very good lawyers. Even the big law schools, they're churning out very good lawyers. But till now, nobody teaches how the business of law works. So to that extent, I've been quite fortunate that all most of my seniors, before I started my own venture and started doing my own building up my own practice, they were very focused on the business aspect as well. This
Yes.
being great lawyers, but they were very focused on business aspects. So it was something which was ingrained that, okay, fine, you also need to get clients, you also need to get your bills cleared, which which is something which today's generation, they need to learn quite a lot.
Wow. Okay. So let's come to your Athena law firm. What is the story behind naming of Athena Legal? I'm going to two parts. That is the first part. Second part is what's your approach to leading a modern law firm like Athena Legal?
Right. So I joined Athena in 2016. Athena was started in 2012 by our managing partner, Mr. Rajat Prakash. So uh, honestly, I don't know the exact story why it was named Athena. So in 2016, I merged my existing practice with Athena, and it's been about 10 years now. With regard to running of a modern law firm, I think it is, see, for us, it is always client first. For any law firm, it has to be client first. But personally, I feel along with the client, law is very, very human centric profession. You also need to take care of your team, the people who are delivering to clients, people who are working for clients, their well-being, their training, their mentorship is equally important. So besides, so our fundamental rule is that you need to be available for the client. So that gives a lot of comfort to the clients when they know that you are available. So that builds a lot of trust. So being a lawyer, the first thing I would imagine is I teach everyone is that, fine, sometimes you need to be available, you need to be responsive, you need to be proactive in reaching out to clients, and you need to be in regular communication with them. So that will bring trust, and that will bring a lot of faith in terms of clients towards your firm. And in terms of, see, we always try that our people, they are well looked after, so that they are in proper frame of mind to service the clients and to perform to best of their abilities.
Wow. So, Siddharth, in a profession often known for long hours and high pressure, as you've shared, what habits or mindsets help you stay focused and grounded?
See, I would say that law is a profession where you can never say that I know it all. So it is always evolving. Law is always evolving, law is always changing, technology is changing, which means that the way we practice law or the way we service our clients, that keeps on changing. So every day is a new day, new issues come up, new laws come up. So there is never that feeling that I know everything. So that is enough to keep any lawyer grounded. And secondly, it is also important that you need to understand that in this profession, you keep on interacting with people. You keep on interacting with your colleagues, with your clients, with the other side lawyers, with judges, with regulators. Each one has a different personality. When you go inside a courtroom, you never know what will happen. The same judge is very polite to you one day, and he will be totally different person the next day. So that all these things, this is a profession where you cannot take things for granted. So that, in my view, is good enough to keep one grounded.
Wow. So, Siddharth, you have been featured in Forbes India's legal power list. What does recognition like this mean to you personally and professionally?
See, any kind of recognition is always good, and you feel good when you get that. It is something, it shows that your clients trust you. It is a symbol of your credibility and consistency in work. So it feels good to be recognized.
Wow. Okay. So, my last question for your professional journey around looking ahead, what do you think the lawyer of the future will look like, and what skills will define their success?
See, lawyer of the future will be one who is deeply ingrained with technology, who will know the technology. And
Hmm.
I don't agree with this thesis that AI will replace lawyers. AI will not replace lawyers. AI will replace the inefficiency in the profession, inefficiencies in lawyering. So, as someone recently pointed out, that law is one profession which rewards inefficiency. The more the number of hours you put, more money you make. So that
Hmm.
paradigm is something which is going to change very soon, and AI will be a very big stimulant for that. That obviously the lawyer of future will need to be more decisive, will need to be a strategic thinker, and will need to make calls. But the problem is that they will not get to do the grunt work, which will be done by AI, because all of us got
Hmm.
trained doing diligences, going through hundreds of documents and everything. So that is something which is not going to happen, because AI will make things very smooth and very easy. Information will be on demand. So at the end of the day, it is the lawyer of the future will have to be more of a decision maker, more of, he will have to make calls, he will have to interact with the clients, because there are certain things which AI cannot do. And those are the things which I think the lawyers will have to focus on, to get one up on AI and to make the best use of AI.
Wow, beautiful. So let's go to next round and understand Siddharth as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
See, I grew up in a small town, Kangra, in Himachal Pradesh. And in late 80s 90s, so it was a really small town in a next to a hill. So it was quite a relaxed life. My father is a doctor, my mother was a professor, so law was nowhere on the horizon. And essentially it was in small places, everybody knows each one. So
Hmm.
I had a lot of friends. I was always interested in current affairs and politics and all those things. So yes, so that perhaps prompted me to try to become a lawyer. So that was the early life, and the values of hard work, integrity, and honesty, which were ingrained at that time, that help in this profession each day.
Wow. So you said you were the first batch at NALSAR. So what are
Yes.
your memories and experiences? And are you still in touch with your college friends?
Yes, very much, with a lot of them. I am in touch with them. See, first batch in NALSAR was really exciting, because being first batch, NALSAR of today and NALSAR of that time is diagrammatically opposite. So we had
Hmm.
no structured campus, we had no structured hostel. We used to walk a lot. A lot of things were set up by us. So a lot of societies, a lot of rules, a lot of student body, a lot of governance, a lot of things were, we had to set up without any precedent. So that
Hmm.
that skill of that skill of getting to do things where things don't exist was something which was ingrained in us from, because we were part of everything. Whatever NALSA did, first batch was always part of it. So to that extent, it was a very exciting and a very an experience which I cherish always, rather than going to a structured university. It was totally unstructured 5 years. Everything was happening for the first time. So we were
Yes.
treated as guinea pigs also, but certainly whatever NALSA is now, the foundations were laid then.
Wow. So Siddharth, you have worked across cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Dubai. Which one feels like home and why?
See, Mumbai and Dubai were great places, undoubtedly. One had energy, other is center of the world. So, but Delhi is one place where I always wanted and intended to settle down, because it's close to home, close to Himachal, and I have a lot of family and friends here. So it was
Hmm.
always Delhi which I wanted to call home.
Wow. So, is there a hobby or interest which helps you to unwind after a long day of work dealing with legal cases?
See, to unwind, I would say I watch OTTs like anybody else. But one hobby is I would say reading. I read a lot of non-fiction, not necessary books, but a lot of articles. Whatever I come across, I read. So I read a lot of politics, cricket, a lot of journal reading. So reading is something which I would say helps me to unwind, and obviously watching cricket and watching some OTT online content, all those things.
So, which is a non-fiction book uh, which you want to reread again, and why?
Read it again. Well, I would say the new version of India After Gandhi, because it's
Mm.
been slightly updated. And the book came out in, say, I would say 2011-12, when India was little different from what India is today. So I would really want to read, especially the newly added portions again.
Wow. So, if your friends were to describe you in 3 words, what would they say?
I hope they would say I'm very dependable, funny, dependable. I think those are the qualities which I would imagine they would say.
Wow. Okay, let's go memory down the lane. If you could relive 1 year of your life purely for nostalgia, which one would it be and why?
I would imagine it would be one of the college years, because that was
Mhm.
the last time when one is really relaxed and one has no responsibilities. Or early part of your career when you start making a lot of friends and you suddenly have freedom to do what you want. So that would be it. But see, I am not the life has been good. I would really like to look forward, and I hope better things come.
Wow. So, is there a personal habit or routine you absolutely can't skip, no matter how hectic your day gets?
I think I read 2, 3 newspapers every day. So that I have to do, whether it is morning or it is night or while I'm traveling. So that is something which I do every day.
Wow. So, what legacy would like to leave behind?
Mm, haven't thought about it honestly.
So, this is what coffee does. So, it will get you into
So
reflective mode and then
I
you
haven't
can
thought about it,
good.
but yes, I would see legacy would be more than a good lawyer, a good human being. That is more important. The people who interacted with you, who you met during the course of your life, they should
Yes.
say good things about you.
Perfect. So, my last one is a googly one. Describe Siddharth in one line.
I think again I would say very dependable person whom you can rely on, and who's also funny for his friends.
Wow. So, let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Supreme Court or startup boardroom?
Supreme Court.
The one word that defines you as a professional.
Consistent.
One tech trend you think will disrupt law next.
I think AI big time.
Early morning hearings or late night strategy calls.
Early morning.
Your go-to comfort food after a long day.
Biryani.
Your favorite color.
Red.
Best piece of advice received.
Best piece of advice received. That everything is an experience, good or bad. Take it as an experience.
Beautiful. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee.
Yeah, the coffee show. Let's raise toast.
I have to say that. Yes.
Yes. Cheers. So you did well, and here's your book, which will be autographed and sent to you.
Thank you. Look forward.
In a profession where clarity meets complexity, Siddharth stands as a voice of balance, merging intellect with intuition and structure with adaptability. From shaping policies to mentoring the next generation, his journey proves that legal brilliance isn't just about mastering statutes. It's about understanding people, purpose, and progress. Here's to conversation that goes beyond the courtroom and to professionals like Siddharth who redefine what it means to lead with expertise and empathy in the modern world of law. So, like that, there are 500 plus coffee speakers who have shared their professional, personal journey, insights. Subscribe, implement in your life, see the change, and we meet with another speaker or a cup of coffee and continue the conversation. So, take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.